Hi, in today's show we have
Pioneer's AVH X6800DVD unboxing. So stay tuned. Alright, so let's open up the box and see what's inside. What did Santa Claus bring us?
okay.
Bought us a remote control, a bag of screws, a USB extension, and a wiring harness.
Okay, and we have
Warranty card. And an owner's manual. Cool. Alright, we'll get this all set up and we'll show you the back. Alright, so let's take a look at the back of this thing. Okay, so we have the USB input right here. We have the Pioneer AVH U260 add-on navigation input right here. We have the wired remote input right here. And we got a bunch of RCAs. So we have a front set of RCAs, a rear set of RCAs, a backup camera, brown RCA, a audio input RCA, video input, subwoofer input, rear monitor output, and a auxiliary input. We also have the power plug input as well as the antenna input. Okay, so we have the unit spun around and powered up. What do you say we open it and tell them all about it?
okay.
So let's open it first. Alright, so tell us about the screen.
Okay, so this radio has a motorized 7-inch LED backlit WBGA clear resistor screen, 800 by 480 pixels.
Now the clear resistive screen is new for this year, so that's one of the upgrades compared to last year's, which was the 6700. Now, when you get your new unit in the box, and well, out of the box and power it up, it's going to have a display like this. So what we thought we'd do is we just walk you through the basic setups.
Yep.
So what you see here is your language selection. So you have English, Spanish, Portuguese, French, and that one. So for this demo, we'll pick English. Now the next screen is for the preamp and powered outputs. Do you want to do network mode or standard mode? Standard mode is front rear sub. Network mode is tweeter mid subwoofer. Now if you want to know more about network, we have a very in-depth review on what network mode is and how to work it. So check that out. For this demo, we'll just pick standard. Now you have a choice. Do you want to do iPod or other? Naturally, other is going to be anything other than an iPhone. So we'll just leave it on iPod for now, and we'll go to the next screen. Now you're on your basic screen. Now once you get to the basic home screen, you're going to want to do a little bit of customization.
Okay.
You're going to want to make it look like the colors in your dash, because chances are good you don't have a purplish blue dash. You may, but you may not. So we'll walk you through setting it up for that. Hit the settings button. Hit the art palette and click on backgrounds. Now you have 5 static images to choose from, as well as 3 movie images, or you can import your own via the USB. We'll pick this one. Now you can pick illumination. That's the color of the buttons on the bottom, so we'll pick red. And then we'll pick themes. Themes will be the top screen. So you can pick red, or you could pick white, green, orange, or the purplish blue. So we'll pick orange. Now you have different displays. Do you want the clock at all? Not everyone wants a clock. Some cars have a clock and you don't want two. Or would you like a different display type? So we'll go ahead and click that one. You can also come over here and change your home screen. So you can come over here to themes well, backgrounds, and we'll change it to that guy. Then we'll click done. Now we'll go ahead and turn on a source. Now to set the clock, you simply tap the clock like I did there, and you pick the date. And then the time gets set in 12 hours, or 24 hours. So 1610 is actually going to be 410. So now you've got it all pretty and set up and looking good. Now some of you get them installed, and your radio already looks like this. Let's say you want to go through the whole unboxing experience, you know, like we just did, because, you know, it's your radio and you just spent all that money and you want to hit all the buttons yourself. So there's a couple menu settings. I'll go ahead and walk you through those. So go ahead and hit gear. Come to your wrench and screwdriver. Then you're going to come down to this guy right here where it says restore settings. If you hit restore settings, that'll reset the radio back to the factory default settings, basically out of the box. You can also come down to the bottom of the screen and hit system information, firmware information. This is where you're going to figure out what software is running on your unit, just in case there's an update you want to do. Now, you also have input-output settings, smartphone setup. So if the installer set it up for iPhone and you want it to be other, go ahead and do that, and it'll go ahead and set that up for you. This is also where you're going to turn on your AV input. So if you want to do, let's say, something in your AV input, you're going to want to go ahead and turn it on. That way, when you go to your menu, you'll get AV input in the drop down instead of just auxiliary. Last but not least, you have beep tone. So now you can turn on and off your beep tone. That's a new feature that you couldn't do in the older ones. So now hopefully you have your radio all set up, cocked, locked, and ready to rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? Cool. So now what do?
Sound.
Sound?
Yes.
Well, don't you want something that makes sound first?
Oh, well, yeah.
Oh, well, yeah? All right. Let's talk about some of the features that this radio comes with. So you have your drop-down menu over here, as well as if you come down here and you hit the home button. The home button will give you AV settings, which will give a full listing of what you got are capable of having. So for example, you have AM FM radio, you have CD DVD that gets loaded right here, you have USB/iPod. Once you've plugged in an iPod, you can do Pandora. You can also do Pandora presets. You can have 6 Pandora presets. That's new this year. It also new this year is Spotify control for USB via iPod or iPhone. You have your auxiliary input. You have your AV input. You have the ability to turn on and off your rear camera. Now right now it's grayed out. So what we do is we come over here. We scroll down until we get to camera settings. We go ahead and turn it on. Now the purple white wire on the back of the radio needs to have a battery or constant 12 volts, hence battery hooked up to it. So now when you go back into your AV setup, you can tap camera. If there was a camera attached, this would show you the camera. You can tap the screen up and turn it off. You also have source off and power off. These are new this year, power off. Source off was always there. When you tap source off, it just go ahead and puts the radio in, keeps the screen on, pull up the demo. If you pick power off, it'll ask you, sure you want to turn this unit off? You say yes. Now what this will do is this will totally power down the radio. And then you just tap any button to power it back up. Now, this has a full sound pack built into it. So we'll go ahead and walk you through some of the fun stuff that will do. Alright, so we'll put it on a source. We'll come over here. We'll hit the radiating speaker. Now this will pull up the sound settings. From here we have a graphic equalizer with 13 bands. We have 5 presets as well as 2 custom presets. Back arrow. You have balance and fader, mute level, subwoofer on and off, speaker level control. This will allow you to adjust the volume for each speaker individually, and the reason why you'd want that is for listening position. It'll add delay, it'll add distance. Crossover, you have front, rear, and subwoofer crossover. If you turn on the high pass, it'll automatically turn on both front and rear, but they can be set independently of one another. So here's front and here's rear. You have the listening position. And along with listening position, you have time alignment. So to make the listening position work better, you'd want to go ahead and measure from your ear to your speaker, put those numbers in, you can easily adjust them. It goes up to 140 inches, and that'll make the time correction work more efficiently. Sound better. Alright. You have auto EQ, which can be done through the auxiliary input and an external microphone. You have save settings. Save settings allows you, once you've gone through and set up the EQ and made it sound amazing, go ahead and save your settings so when the battery's disconnected, they're not lost. Load settings, bass boost, rear speakers output selectable. You can actually use the rear speaker outputs to power a small subwoofer, but then you wouldn't be able to power rear speakers. You have loudness control, 3-step loudness control. And you have automatic level control. Automatic level control, you have mode 1 and mode 2. This will help you if you have music recorded at different volumes to level out the volume control. We have a video just on that if you're interested. Now that's the EQ pack. A couple other things that this radio will do this year is it'll, over the USB, it'll read FLAC audio files.
Okay.
That's new. And of course, since it's motorized, it does a few other things that we'll just show you because they're only available on the motorized screen. So let's take a look at those. So to open and close the screen, you press this button right here. Now once it's unclosed, you have a detachable face you can remove. Of course, it's much easier to put on than it looks. Here we go. Hit open. This is your eject button for your CD. If you press and hold the open button, you can tilt the screen. This would be if you need to get to air conditioning controls. You can also adjust. You have volume control here, as well as the menu button, track back and forth, and mode, which is source, so that you can use the unit when it's closed. Okay, that about wraps it up on the 6800. We did forget to mention it does have 50 watts by 4. Rock on, right? Yeah! Alright, oh, and the preamp outputs are 4 volt, if I didn't say that as well. Alright.
So thank you for watching, and you guys can find us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram.
And as usual, thanks. If you have any questions, comments, or whatever, feel free to leave them down below and we'll get back to you. We hope you enjoyed this one, and bye.